Hello there. Thank you for watching News Echoes on Global Affairs. What we do is we give you news and analysis of what is going on around the world, and it is left for you to have an informed opinion. My name is Shegun Johnson, and I have with me my colleagues all over the world. In Moscow, Russia, is Dr. Godwin Ibe. Dr. Ibe, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, viewers, for tuning in. Thank you, Dr. Shege.
Yes, and in Milan, we have Massive Mark. Mark Godwin, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Dr. Shagun. Good morning, Dr. Ibe. It's good to see you guys again.
Today is an important day in the Russia-Ukrainian war. The Ukrainians are saying we have withstood the Russian aggression for 1 year. The Russians are saying we have liberated the Ukrainians in 1 year. Dr. Ibe, I know today is a public holiday in Russia. Please tell us, what are you celebrating?
Well, very good question. Today is a public holiday, but it stems from yesterday, started yesterday, which is celebrated as some call it Men's Day, some call it Victories Day, you know. Well, but for us generally, Father's Day, Defenders of the Fatherland. So it's a continuation of yesterday, 2 days, and of course after that, Saturday and Sunday is a weekend. So some see it as a 4-day continuous holiday. But of course, that doesn't hide the fact that, well, today, about a year ago, there was the beginning of the special military operation and the invasion of Ukraine, which, of course, has consequences which are felt around the world today. I can't hear you.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Now I can.
Okay. You are celebrating the invasion of Ukraine. Is the government happy about that? When I say you, I mean the Russian government.
Is it celebration? Well, yeah, there was a concert that was held. You know, this nationalistic movement in terms of well, it's been a year of military conflict. A lot of people have lost their lives. There's been you know, even though mostly it's been Ukrainians, and well, they're currently in a military conflict, and morale is important. We explain to the people why you've come to such a political decision, a very costly political decision, is also important. So we find this kind of moral uplifting, you know, movements in both in everywhere, not only in Russia, moving in Ukraine, in Europe, and basically that's what it is.
Do you think you have achieved your objective?
Oh, not me. Russia.
I'm talking of Russia. Have you achieved your objective in 1 year?
It's not for me to say. Basically, I can only judge based on what has been announced. And it's been the Russian side has said the aim is the liberation of the Donbas region. As of today, not counting the loss of lives on both sides, even though it's clearly more on the Ukrainian side due to the advantage in artillery. All the same, right now we can say Russia occupies the 20% of the former territory of Ukraine. I don't want to go into saying whose territory it is.
Okay,
as you know,
will the Russian government stop now? I mean, they've occupied 20% of Ukrainian land. Will they now stop so that there'll be no more loss of lives?
As I'm speaking to you today, there are still shellings going on in Donbas. People are still losing their lives, innocent civilians. Just as you would also argue there are loss of lives in the areas in Ukraine that are in mostly pro-Ukrainian side. The shelling hasn't stopped by any side. It's not, the onus is not on one side. The onus is to put away all differences, come to the negotiation table without preconditions and try to work out something. Weapons are still being supplied to Ukraine right now by the West. This could be used for defensive or offensive, and as you can see, they are still used in those 20% which is controlled by Russia. It hasn't stopped. So the way out is for dialogue, taking into account all national interest, putting aside every precondition so that they can talk and get. And moreover, there are some escalations which are on which the Ministry of Defense have talked about. I don't know if you are aware, but let me concede my time. Maybe you might have other more important
questions. Let me ask Mark in Milan. In the last 1 week, we saw Joe Biden in Ukraine, shocked everybody, went by train and made some photo ops and rally around everybody in Warsaw, in the European Union, to give support for Ukraine, and said that he has never seen NATO come together like this before. With the Russian government thinking this is a NATO war, you think there's an end to it?
I don't think so, Dr. Shagun. Coupled with the invention yesterday, like Dr. Godwin is telling us, there is an anniversary. And it doesn't look like we're getting to an end of this whole thing. Yesterday also, the United Nations General Assembly voted overwhelmingly to approve a resolution condemning Russian invasion of Ukraine. It was all out there. They called for a withdrawal of troops from Ukraine, and they also asked that they halt this fighting. 141 nations voted in favor of that motion, and 32 were absent, including Russia, that voted against. So what we're seeing is a situation where the West and the United Nations, America, they are beginning to come into this whole thing more. But we don't want them to come into it to escalate it, but rather come into and broker peace, and let's stop this killing of innocent lives. So that's what I have to say for now.
All right, thank you very much. But you mentioned one word there, escalate. With the weapons and artillery supplied to Ukraine and promised them, and them begging for jet fighters, don't you think the war has been escalated already? Because Russia says, look, if you give them weapons, then you have escalated the war.
Yes, that's obviously what it is. Escalating the war. Remember, last 2 weeks, we also condemned here in SSM, we condemned the external bodies giving more arms and giving more, and they're even not just giving arms, they're giving long-range arms and all these things to really escalate the war. And Russia is not taking it. Russia is claiming that the part of the country is their part of their country, they're occupying it, and we don't know. I think Godwin will tell us more.
I was about to ask Dr. Ibe. Russia is claiming that Ukraine is about to invade Moldova through Transnistria. Please tell us more. What's that all about?
Yes.
Look, it's a very terrible idea if it's true. Very terrible idea, because everyone who really looks at this conflict objectively can say that Russia has used advantage in artillery fire and tried to minimize the loss of its troops, even to the extent of using paramilitary. We have the Wagner musicians, ex-prisoners, trying to conserve as much as possible the main military force. Even in the early stages, the rumors about conscripts and the rest. But if Transnistria is involved, especially as Russia and Moldova have an agreement, written legal agreement concerning Transnistria, there's the belief that Russia may decide not to count its losses and focus on escalation.
The Moldovan authorities said that they should discountenance what Russia is saying concerning.
Yeah. You know, there's objective evidence on the ground. I don't think there's anybody. The point is that, is there a massing of Ukrainian troops at the border of Transnistria now? Is there troop gathering there? Yes. It's just like when the Russian troops were around the Ukrainian border, right? And then you say, well, no, everything is fine. No, it's okay. Just go to bed and sleep.
But why is the Russian government being more Catholic than Pope? The Moldovan government is not complaining.
No, because of the people in Transnistria. They are not. It's in Moldova's interest to get Transnistria. It's in Moldova's interest to have control over Transnistria, but it is in Russia's interest to prevent the disadvantage of the Russians in Transnistria or the peacekeeping forces, or access to the large ammo depot, the largest in Europe, I think.
Okay,
in
I'm
Transnistria.
just going to ask you one more question.
Sorry. Let me just finish. Add one more thing. One more thing. There are two scenarios. The first scenario is that if it happens that Ukraine invades Transnistria, they can do it with the legal backing of Moldova. In this case, this could might lead to a declaration of war with Moldova. Or they might do it without Moldova, considering Moldova has a current political crisis right now. As you speak, there are talks of coup, which also the Ukrainian side have said Russia is planning a coup. If it goes on without the legal approval, that's tacit approval, not legal approval, then it will also lead to this condemnation of invading another country.
Okay,
you know,
let me just ask you one more question, because we want to go to Nigeria. We have seen one Nigerian entering the program. Bidi Nana, you're welcome. All the way from Lagos.
We can't hear you though.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. We'll come to you in a minute. Dr. Ebe, one more question. With the defending of the fatherland, don't you think Putin is doing too much to get back to the old USSR? This is what it's all about, isn't it?
No, Putin has clearly said that one of the greatest disasters, I think, is the breakup of the Soviet Union. But at the same time, one of the most idiotic things is to expect a new Soviet Union or to get back the Soviet Union. So it's a big loss that has to be accepted the way it is.
Yeah, but when Russia is overtaking Donbass, is controlling Transnistria, wants to be in charge of Moldova, is planning a coup.
I was getting to that. Of course, there's a Minsk agreement. Yeah, there was a Minsk agreement. It's clear that there are Russians in Ukraine. It's clear that the official language of Ukraine has been Russian. It's clear that Russians in even the United Nations have said it over time that a lot of civilians, 13,000 Russians had been killed, civilians had been killed in Donbass up from 2013. There was Minsk 1, Minsk 2 agreement, and we have leaders like Angela Merkel, Hollande, coming out to say that the whole Minsk agreement was a sham. It was just to buy time to fortify Ukraine against the Donbass, the Russians living in the Donbass region. So you can see that it's not you cannot be you cannot behave as if history doesn't exist. Yeah, there was a time before, and it will be taken into account whether somebody decides not to look into it or not. Everyone will take into account and say, well, we don't want double standards, we don't want killing of our people. We want to make sure that in any deal it works in our favor. So it's all about striking a deal that respects national interest. That's why I encourage all sides to come to the table without preconditions and try to iron out something. But rhetoric, weapon supply will only prolong and lead to more loss of life.
All right, we'll just leave Ukrainian-Russian war there. Thank you very much, Dr. Ebe. You have thrown in more light, and we all pray that this war will come to a quick end. That's a prayer, but we'll be monitoring it and presenting it to viewers as the days go by. I want to welcome from Nigeria our lovely people, Sister Bidi and Dr. Osita. You're most welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson.
Agreed.
Thank you, Dr. Ibe. Thank you, Massive in Milan.
Yes. Bidi, you live in Lagos. What's the general atmosphere 24 hours to election?
Nigerians are ready for the election. Everybody is anticipating to go there tomorrow and elect their leaders. Everything is set. INEC is working. As I speak with you now, I'm at INEC office, the media accreditation, and because of my flight did not get to Lagos early, so we're still doing accreditation by today. So that's where I am. That was where I have to come into the studio very late. And I might be running out soon because the crowd out there is very much. And we need to be accredited in this election, considering what is going on. If you're not accredited, you might not be able to come out. You see how they blood a lot of soldiers into all the different states in Nigeria. So for you to be out there, is either you're voting or you're monitoring what's going on. So if I go down now, you'll see a lot of media. Everything is set. Tomorrow, Nigerians will come and elect their leaders. So that's much. That
Thank you very much.
Let's give you the love story that we just got. You said some people were busted in Chad. The Nigerian border with Chad. We saw a lot of truck bringing in from Chad who possibly might be coming to participate in this election. They've been busted, but statement has not been given on that.
Yeah, we understand that the immigration controller, boss Idris, has blocked all the borders of Nigeria. That's the latest we to have.
Exactly.
But please stay with us, because as much as possible, stay with us. You can be asking for your accreditation, but we'll be needing to talk to you more. Dr. Osi, in Abuja, how is the atmosphere there? Very few hours to election. What was the atmosphere? Peaceful, agitating, or what?
Peaceful, surprisingly.
Tell us more.
Surprisingly, but that doesn't make it non-troublesome, because
Calm before
we
the
can
storm.
we can be very calm in Abuja, but things are going going on the table. What I know is that people are so willing. My neighbor just left for Katsina. He just took his entire family, his wife, and his two kids. They are driving by road to Katsina. They want to be able to vote tomorrow, which is brilliant, because because it makes it very good for him. The luck I have is that I registered in La Pai, where I was college professor. So I now moved from La Pai to Abuja is 3 hours. So I moved my voting point to Guarimpa, where I live now. So that makes it easier for me to wake up tomorrow, walk up to the polling booth, and then cast my vote. That's it. But every other person is ready. As a matter of fact, my neighbor moved out today to Katsina. My landlord came in from the UK with his wife yesterday
to come and vote.
Exactly, of course, yes. This Yoruba man now, he has to vote his conscience. It's not about talking about it. You have to do something while you are talking about it. Do something that is right. My friends, my classmates, my colleagues, everybody is talking about it. Like I said, it's a little bit calm now, but I know that by evening it will be rush for people who have just who have begun,
What's the situation of the cash crunch? Is it better now? You can collect money now?
No, you cannot. As a matter of fact, I wanted to share with Mark Millian. There is a popular bank in Delta. It's Zenith Bank. People were there yesterday. They were about 213 people. They stood for 8 hours. And before they left, there was a sympathy call from the branch manager. Give these people 2,000 naira each. 2,000.
Free of charge.
No, now that is what they can collect. That means that they can collect their money. It became a favor to be able to collect your money, 2,000 naira, free of charge for where? No, that's the story.
How about in Abuja? How about in Abuja? That's Delta State.
I was almost excited. My God, huh?
Yeah, I was thinking it's free. I was on my way to Delta.
No, yeah. Abuja is bad because this morning I called 3 of my POS boys. They said they're going to get back to me afternoon. That they just told them that a pocket of banks will have money, but there's going to be a very long queue. But believe me, I'm not expecting anything different. Abuja is going to be worse because there's been no money given to anybody anytime in the last
I'm
1
told,
week.
but I'm told in Lagos yesterday, you could collect 5,000 naira, of course, in a long queue.
No, there is no. That's true. So some people got 5,000 from here, but they would have spent about 4 hours. They would have spent about 4 hours waiting. And you know, that waiting means that if you leave the line, you're gone because you can't go and pee, you can't go and get drinking water, you can't go and get food. It's that sad. It is that sad.
Okay, tell us
Really,
about these
that's
borders. We know that each election, Nigeria has to close her borders because people just flock in to vote from the neighboring countries, especially in the north. And Jonathan had to do it for his first election. The soldiers, because he was the president at that time, he had the power to block. Yes, he had the power to block all those entrants, and he did. And now, and he won that election. So this time around, they're blocking it again. I mean, the controller of immigration said he has blocked it. Tell us what's going on. What's the politics of border closure of Nigeria during elections?
Border was not closed in 2015. Border was not closed in 2019, and this is a fact. So all the mercenaries that came to vote just walked in. They walked in and joined trucks to centers where their names were imprinted for the election. The sad thing about this was that it was actually happening because they take a very short time to do it, 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours. So what happened yesterday was that they waited until people started, the Nigerians started planning their own trips so that they could come in. It was strategic. Unfortunately, truck is truck, and they had about 15 trucks, and they were not smart enough to make it intermittent. It was like a convoy. These are stories that we hear. Like a convoy. And the same convoy that was doing Southeast states when they were planning their their local attacks. So they started stopping them. When they get to some checkpoints, they just walk through. It was somebody that called somebody who knew somebody to call the immigration boss that made this happen. Otherwise, we wouldn't have known. So now they stopped them and searched them. Everybody there had either a Muslim or Arabic name on their PVC and a Nigerian ID card that was fake. So what happened? They searched them, and because customs doesn't have infrastructure for arrest and detention, they took all the materials from them and then told them to go back. So they made sure that they escorted them back to the border, and these were borders in Jibia, in Katsina State, in Dutse, in Jigawa State, and so on and so forth. Yes, Chad's border. So the issue now is not whether our borders are closed. Our borders are closed in the south. Nobody can come in through my border. Nobody can. But they left these borders closed but porous, with a window for one or two of them to be able to come in. But yesterday,
it's getting more interesting. I'll come to others in a moment. You said categorically, and I agree with you, that the borders were not closed in 2015, 2019. So
even El-Rufai admitted it now. So it's a rich story.
That's a good name. What will El-Rufai be thinking now? So why did the federal government now close the borders? Who is it? Who will it have favored? It will have favored the APC if they left it open.
No, it is because even though we are dancing around it, the internal APC war is real, Dr. Johnson. It's real. There is nothing you can do about it now. It is so real now that they are actually pointing fingers at deep plans that nobody in this country knew about. Deep plans. These were plans that were made about 2 years ago. And then they were going to, rehash these plans in the last 8 months. But leakages came. And then the people who they were planned with started getting very, very finicky. And then they said, no, we cannot do this because everything that you guys promised you failed. How am I sure you're not going to put me to shame? These are plans. It is true that the president had his candidate. And he had his candidate because he was trying to use that candidate for legacy dropping. The candidate didn't come from his party. That's
wow.
how he didn't come from his party. So the issue is, yes, El-Rufai has issues with the president. And he is the only vocal ones amongst them. But there are many of them. There are about 10 of them, 10, 12 of them. Some of them are governors.
Yes,
so but what we have now, the reason why the guy who was trying to call customs leader was calling him, because he knew the customs leader already had an instruction from Mr. President on what to do.
Okay.
That is it. Otherwise, it's an APC regime, and they will have just walked in the way they would have walked in. This is giving me hope for a good election. Really, I'm here in Nigeria, and it's giving me so much good hope because I sit down and I'm asking myself, will this just be the way this will work out through, and we'll have a fair and free election? As a matter of fact, anybody that is accusing INEC now is called to show proof. If it is true, the INEC person is in trouble. I mean, you feel strong that something is coming, that is a promise, and maybe there's a hand of God in it too. You just can't. We cannot stay rotten forever now.
I feel like leaving you to preach for the rest of the evening of our time. But this is going to be an election.
But they know as much as I do. Yes, they know as much as I do. It's a brilliant. It's a brilliant election eve. Today is good. People are calling me since morning. Everybody's excited. Even people who are not in Abuja. Yes.
Mark in Milan, this is one election that we will not see people exchanging money for votes at the polling booths. Not because people don't have that intention, but because they don't have the money. Is this what we've been praying for that is coming to pass? That there is not going to be buying of votes anymore. I mean, it has just come to pass all of a sudden. Nobody is buying votes anymore. So this is likely that people are going to vote without getting paid for it.
And kudos to Peter Obi, Labour presidential candidate. Even if I'm not saying he's losing, because we're very optimistic. But even if Peter doesn't win this election, Peter has changed the narrative for politics in Nigeria. I mean, we're not talking of winning again. And this will continue. 2027, nobody will be talking of vote buying, giving money for votes and all that. Peter did this. Peter brought in a different outlook to politicking.
Yeah, Peter brought out a different outlook, but it was Buhari who would have loved a legacy. And that legacy is that no more vote buying, because the cash crunch, the redesign of Naira, everything worked together for good, isn't it? I mean, once you remember Buhari for this, or what do you say?
No. Me, I give the kudos to Peter Obi, because the initial arrangement. Yes,
there's a Buhari factor.
Okay. Godwin in Moscow. What do you say?
No, when Dr. Sita wants to talk, I have to keep quiet. No. Please.
No, you're fine. It's a very short story. It's a very short story.
Okay,
a young man, a campaign stalwart for APC was caught this morning. He was going to Restates to distribute money. You know what he had in him? Dollars.
Wow.
Because Atiku had already restrategized. His thinking was that, okay, if they're telling me not to do Naira. Come on, Dubai, bring me foreign currency. Let's see how they can stop that. Fortunately, traffic has become so stringent, and people are being searched that no matter how big you look, no matter how much play you play at the checkpoint. So this morning they caught somebody. But I think it's so huge. I can't remember the amount of money because it was so quick. And the guy said to me,
$500,000.
Thank you. I am glad somebody has the figure.
Yeah.
So the question was, I called my team in Rivers because I am what do you call it, patron of Punch, river. So I was saying, how could this happen? He said, no, that they even caught people with pockets of less amounts of foreign currency, not just dollars alone. So yes, they are strategizing, they are doing whatever they want to do, but there are steps that have been taken by everybody who is so concerned. Do you know that the military now has released their numbers? They are ready now to take calls and take action. Military.
Wow.
Because
may I ask a question? May I ask you a question? Sorry. I just want to know, could you really enlighten me? The 2,000 that the bank managers gave to those people, what can you really buy now in Nigeria?
Exactly.
I want to know. I'm asking.
Let me give you an example.
A family of 5. Nigeria, we have, usually lots of kids. Let's take 3 kids, for example,
of me
5.
Yesterday, of me, Dr. Godwin. This is my 3rd day of Lent. So it is 1 meal a day for me. So in the evening yesterday, I went to my neighboring shop to say, I want a can of sardine, I want a can of baked beans, and I want mixed fruits for my salad because I couldn't go to the market. There's no cash. You know how much I paid for that? 8,000 naira.
8,000 naira for sardine, baked beans.
For 1 meal. For me, 1 meal. So a man stood for 8 hours yesterday in front of a bank and was given 2,000 naira, and they were saying, thank you, oh, thank you, God bless you. For nothing, because he cannot buy anything with that money. I mean it. Nothing. 2,000.
Thank you very much for that short story. When next I'm going to Abuja, I will take 80,000 naira for 10 days. Don't go away. We'll be right back. We'll for a short break. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Hi there, I'm Mary Keurig, and I am a businesswoman in the United States, but I'm also the Global Content Vice President for the Sub-Saharan Open University in Nigeria. I could not be prouder to work with Dr. Osita Anamika and his team on helping to create not just entrepreneurs and skill-based talent that will get out into the workforce and make a living for themselves, but also young leaders. And to that end, with this integrity-rich university environment that's accredited now, and it's just an amazing opportunity for anyone there of any age to jump on board and learn, we want to let you know about a new offering that we have. We have a global governance and diplomacy course now provided by a whole team of people that crosses several countries to put together these resources and lots of great information for those of you who might be on the path toward public service and diplomatic service, NGO leadership, that sort of thing. We hope that you will walk through this open door and enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, ADC na the party for you. Ladies and gentlemen, ADC na the party for you and me. Yes, ADC arise, ADC arise, ADNC arise and shine Nigeria. ADC stands for belief, passion, ideas, and creativity in nation building. We are value driven and just in our ways, thoughtful and forthright. We serve with integrity, confidence, and commitment. ADC is the royalty in politics. Stand with ADC today. ADC is the future. ADC, arise and shine. Nigeria go better. If you voted DC, plenty work go day. Make you voted DC. ADC na the party for you.
Thanks for watching. It's still News Echoes bringing you global affairs. Right now, we're centering on Nigeria. The whole world is looking at you, Dr. Osita. When I say you, I mean Nigeria. The whole world, and I mean the whole world, the whole Christian world, perhaps the Muslim world, they are praying for Nigeria, and it's is Nigeria has become the center. All the European countries, their governments have said something about this election, and we're looking as things pan out. Let's just look on the summary of what has been happening. Mark in Milan, what's the summary of these election taking place tomorrow? I mean, since the last 2 years, it's been about this election. APC, PDP, LP, so many things have happened. What will you say is in the pot right now?
What's in the pot is the biggest nation in Africa is about to change the political landscape forever. And that is happening tomorrow, 25th of February. Nigeria will be going to the polls. 4 major contestants, but one most favored contestant. And that one most favored will spar around, if he could pull through, will spar around Africa. And a new Africa will begin, a new Nigeria will begin, a new set of black mind, black people, Africans will start on Earth. Planet Earth is about to witness what it has never witnessed before. The black man is coming to take his center stage in the world, global geopolitics, every geo you can think of. So we're excited. We're excited, big brother. And we're monitoring, we're looking. We have our eyes on all the radars, all corners of Nigeria. The youths are excited. A lot of things are going on. People are having parties. Lagos says they are having parties, small room party, house party. Everybody's preparing because these youths are new to the game. They've never done this before. So they are trying to prep up themselves with their own way of doing things. So they are coming up with excitement, with music, with all these things. And they want to turn that event also to a small fun fair for themselves. So it's going to be wonderful.
Dr. Ibe, 93 million voters registered, 87 collected. Most likely about 37 million will vote. Is that a good turnout? Or we should expect more?
We should expect more. It's not a good turnout because there's always the very aggressive, involved minority. I mean, you can buy votes, politicians can buy votes, but they cannot afford, they are not rich enough to buy all the votes. They are not, even if they are rich enough, they wouldn't consider it a good investment, return, because you must be willing to steal so much to cover up what you've invested. So they cannot buy all the votes. It's not good business sense. So the more costly you make it to buy the votes, the less likely they'll think of it. Okay. So a good turnout is necessary to
do you envisage a good turnout tomorrow, given the fact that new young people who have never voted before, but they're excited about things that are happening? Do you expect that there'll be more turnout tomorrow?
No matter what I think, this is the wrong time to give any element of negativity. It's the time to encourage everybody to go out and vote, no matter the difficulties, the problems. Please go out and vote. We can only hope for the best. We expect the best, and no one should be discouraged. It's not the time to allow any form of iota of negativity.
Thank you. Dr. Osita, take us through this BVAS. We want to see how authentic INEC is going to do tomorrow. Let us assume that everything is peaceful and you get to your polling booth and you vote. When a person gets to the polling booth, what does he or she expect and how does it pan out until that vote is counted? Take us through. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
I put it on. Sorry.
Okay.
It's accreditation, acceptance, queue, and vote. What is important is that people have now been taught that you don't just get accredited. You have to present yourself for accreditation. Present yourself, meaning that you would have searched your list on the wall and you're sure that that is your polling station. That is where you belong. Let me tell you what has happened lately. People who were identified and given a particular polling station, when I didn't find their names there.
Wow.
They called INEC, and INEC apologized, not for anything terrible, but for the fact that they didn't tell them that there had been an extension of polling booths. Extension meaning that many people, like Godwin, like Dr. Godwin just said, many people have been registered. There is a deluge of new registrants. Now, when you get there and you can't find your name, the next question you will ask is, where is the extension booth for this station?
Polling booth,
so,
yeah.
Yes, because yes, if it was to take 300 people, and that way, because of new people, it has gone up to 400 or 405. The remaining 105 have been given a booth next to it, and somebody will be there to show. But if you don't ask, they won't show you. Some people, when they became despondent because they didn't see their names and started walking back. So a lady
walking
called
away.
them, said, why are you walking away? He said, because I can't find my name. He said, no. Let me help you find your name. So they walked to the next booth, and her name was number 15.
Wow.
That is the issue.
What does beavers? What does it mean, and what does it do?
Now, this is the tool. This is the tool that identified genuine, registered, and ready to vote Nigerian. This machine, what it does is that it tells everything about you. All your demographics had been taken in, and there is nothing about voting that you say by word of mouth. If it is not there, it does not matter, because it is what is there that INEC is following. So the machine itself tells you everything that you need as an individual that should be voting. And then by the time you go into the cubicle alone, because there's no escort, the same information that is there that is in your section of the beavers is what you will need now to identify what you must do. But the problem is this, the problem we all have is this, is that the voters' education is not replete with the information about the thumbprint, which is the fact that you voted. Some people will rush it and print across lines. It's dead. If you don't print within the box, within the rectangle that you're given, you have not voted. So
that vote will be disqualified.
Disqualified, yes, and it not even see the light of day. No matter how you argue it, because once it goes. It is already void by dispatch. So what we're doing is that while we're telling them what to do with beavers, we're also telling them how to identify themselves. Identify themselves with the candidate that they are voting, and then how to vote for that candidate and make sure that the vote is counted. So most votes not counted.
How was this done in the villages, in the rural areas that are not as academic as Urban?
Very good. There was somebody who was asking questions. The CBN was quick enough to take buses and security people to go and do money in the villages. INEC did not think about this, because that was what it was supposed to do. Voter education, voters awareness building. These two were prime in our minds. We were telling them, we were talking to them all the time about it. So what we now did was that people who are interested volunteered to go to villages. As a matter of fact, you're not even allowed.
Millions of people in rural areas, north, south, east, and west.
Exactly, Dr. Johnson, you are hitting the nail at the head. By last night, I went to bed critically worried, because the intention was for us to have done this all this while. They kept telling us they were going to do it, but they didn't do it. So the things that we have been able to do now is to educate educators, everybody who we know that is going to vote. We are telling them what to tell people that are going to meet in each of the polls, because they already know what to do. We are just praying, we're hoping that
it's so technical. It's so technical that many people may lose their votes,
Exactly. The question now was actually,
why did they make it so technical? I have one more question for you before I go to our other colleagues. INEC has said you cannot take in your telephones into your mobile phone into the cubicles. So supposing I go to vote, I don't know anybody on the line. I have my phone in my pocket. Where will I keep it?
No, okay, fine. I asked that question. If you go to the embassy in this country now, even if you take your phone across the gates, you cannot go into your interview room with your phone. So what normally happens is that they plant somebody there with a tag number, a dual patch tag number. They collect your phone, tear it into two, put the patch on the phone, put it in the bag, and then you go with your number. When you come out, you pick it. That is the plan for this. But believe me, I was asking questions this morning by phone, how that is going. They are asking people who are supposed to do the phone tag and phone patch to do it themselves. That means that there might even be problems after voting, because you might find your phone and you have a patch number, and the patch number on your phone is no longer the number there, because it's going to be so much.
Wow. We are having a patch problem there. How feasible, Dr. Ibe, how feasible you think this will be? This, you cannot take your phone to your cubicle. How do you think, how feasible will that be? You don't know anybody in the queue.
It's like I said, I don't want to be negative, but we cannot hide that a lot needs to be done. Sometimes I wonder, I just like really sit and wonder, was there no less technical way, maybe electronic voting system, maybe extension of the day of voting? I'll give you an example. The way things are done in Russia. A lot of the services and things you do can be done online. And when it's time for voting, they use already governmental structures like schools, universities. They already well secure. They all have camera everywhere. They work normal. They already have security systems. They're not installing anything new. They just adapt it for the event. And it goes. So I sometimes wonder, must it be one day the election, and must it be in this really technical? Look at these things you've mentioned now. They are not only issues, but they actually cost money. Whether it's the tag, whether it's the employees you're going to pay to do that, more stress, more money, and not like we have electricity and soft drink and the Naira crunch. I sometimes wonder if this is the best we can do, but I mean, it's better than nothing, and it's not a criticism, a strong one, but it's just to say that there's room for improvement, and we haven't arrived. We still have a long way to go.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me ask BD. BD, while you were away getting accreditation, we asked this question: where do you keep your mobile phone tomorrow when you go to vote? You don't know anyone in the queue. I can't give my phone to anybody. Nigerians are very honest people, but all the same, you have to be very careful who you hand over your phone to. So what's going to happen now if I go to vote and I'm not allowed to take my phone in?
That's the direction that anybody should not come to the polling unit with their mobile phone. But I don't know of journalists, because they know that journalists will need their phone to work. That's it. So, which means if you're going out to vote, you keep your mobile phone at home, because you know how our military people behave. It might not be funny if they find you with mobile phone tomorrow. So I think that is what will happen tomorrow. And they're going about this thing, I pray that we don't have a low turnout tomorrow, this election. People are complaining transportation. They are finding it difficult to get to where they're casting their votes. Even the students are stranded as we speak now. They can't even get home. There is no fuel in Nigeria, and there is no cash. All this transportation, they don't take transfer. So it's not actually easy. In as much as we're going to go to school.
Our voting system is not practicable, isn't it?
Of course, it's not. It's not. Let's not deceive ourselves.
Okay, since you left us, what's the situation over there? Because let me just inform our viewers for tomorrow, SSM will be open. There will be an anchorman here, and all of us will be coming in and out tomorrow. BD is stationed for us in Lagos. We have station in Abuja and other parts of Nigeria. It's going to be open as from 9 a.m. London time, and so everybody can tune in. One person or the other will be here, and therefore we are getting people on. BD, tell us, what's the situation where you are trying to get accreditation?
So please come on to your question.
What's the situation where you are trying to get accreditation?
This accreditation was done online.
Okay.
Unfortunately, some media houses did not get information, so they are still attending to the people who did online. And the problem with Lagos is that the material came late from Abuja, because if it came early, they would have done with people who did online. So after attending to people who did online, they will not attend to people on ground manually. So that's what actually is going on here now. But thank God I've been able to get the booklet. This will help me to know where the collection centers are. I've been able to get this. Yeah. So rest assured that you get full information tomorrow.
All right. Just stay with us as we get other colleagues to say things. Thank you very much, BD in Lagos. Dr. Sita, you are in Abuja. How practicable is this voting session going to be? I mean, there'll be no vehicles, no vehicular movement, soldiers and policemen everywhere. You may not even get the immediate polling booth. How do you think we're going to survive tomorrow as a voter?
That's why voting centers have been placed next door to you. That was the advice from the one. You are told to please make sure that your polling center is next to you. What it means is that they are not going to let you drive there in the first place. They're not going to let you drive to where you vote. So we will all get there. I'm going to walk some distance. As a matter of fact, my luck is that I walk every morning. So that morning walk tomorrow will be worth it. It will be worth it. It's settled for tomorrow. But let me also queue behind.
Is it possible not to fast? So
not
that just not to fast. I understand you on Lent. Is it possible not to fast so that you have enough strength for?
There's no way I cannot fast. It's fasting. I'm not even supposed to mention it. It's a regular lifestyle. This is my 40 days a year thing. I don't fast more than Lent. I don't.
No, you're going into chaos. You don't unexpected challenges. It's good to be well prepared.
I'm fasting. That's why I'm fasting, because the protection will be beyond me.
Amen. Hallelujah. Okay.
Be careful yourself.
But let me say this. This is very important. Let us not make perfect the enemy of good. This election has never happened before. And believe me, the new people who are joining are so determined that they can walk from here to Lokoja, which could take them 4 days, but they just want to try it. They want to, they've stopped singing a long time ago. They've stopped rallying. They've stopped, what's it called, media a long time ago. They are practicing the first time of voting. You need to see what my children are doing. They are practicing it. Somebody is a polling officer somewhere asking you questions about voting, and everybody is ready. But the beauty, the beauty is that they are ready for results. So they're going to get it right. They're going to ask questions, more questions.
Okay. I have two questions for you. The first one: will the middle class people be voting this time? In the past, the middle class will stay at home and say my vote will never count anyway. But and we've always been.
That's my class.
Yes.
So I'm representing my class. I'm telling you, I'm the prefect of my class now. I'm telling you what we are planning to do. It's no joke, because I couldn't find cash to buy things for my breakfast yesterday. That was a heightened issue for me.
Okay, let's go beyond that one now. Final one for everybody. It appears that the election will be peaceful tomorrow, and that is all we are praying for. Now, Dr. Sita, when the result is released, what do you think will be the outcome? How will the young people take it? How will the old old people take it? How will the APC take it? We're talking of when the result is released, either on Sunday or Monday. Ango Abdullahi, former Vice Chancellor, and one of the elders in the North said if the Southerners should clinch it, they will say amen, hallelujah. But if a Northerner should clinch it and be the next president of Nigeria, then they expect the Southerners to say amen, hallelujah. Quickly, I want everybody to answer it in 1 minute each.
That's my expectation, and that's the expectation of my group. The issue is that we have done well. We have worked hard for this. We worked hard, even SSM. What we did here was contribution to peaceful election. That's why we argued. That's why we came online. And then personally, individuals who have done our work, we have done education, we have gone up and down with our PVCs, we have prayed our prayers, we have used social media to do our campaigns. So if after tomorrow's election, the announcement comes, next week, and the results are out there, we accept what they give to us. Unless,
quickly, Bidi, the youth, will they accept it? Whatever comes. We can't hear you. We cannot hear you. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah. What one Nigerian wants is to show free and fair election, free, fair and credible election. If the election is free, fair and credible, any result that comes out, Nigerians will take. It will only be an issue when the election is not free and fair. That is when you see Nigerians agitating or making noise. But if it's free, fair and credible, Nigerians will accept whoever they elect to win.
Thank you very much for that. Godwin Ibe, do you anticipate the same thing, that free, fair, and credible election, everybody will accept it in Nigeria?
Everyone will not accept free and fair election, but everyone should. It's unrealistic. There will be court cases. There could be court cases. There could be second round if it's not conclusive. But it's right for everyone to accept it if we believe there are no malpractice. But if there is, then we shouldn't accept it. We should try as much as possible to protest it, to take it to court, and all of that.
Massive Mark in Milan. Yeah. What's your take?
Oh, Dr. Shago, you know how Nigeria election goes. The court has become where we the one that gives us our candidate.
Number 4 becoming number 1.
Number 4 becoming number 1. So there'll be a lot of court cases. But we hope for a just election.
Yeah, Bidi, where are you showing us? What office is that, Bidi?
Yes, Bidi is with some electoral.
We were doing live broadcast. We were telling them Lagos is having this problem. Lagos is having that problem. Let's talk about now before you go to the problem of our leg when you do that.
Okay, looks like Bidi is involved in many broadcasts there.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Sita, we'll leave you to tell us the final word for tomorrow. You are in the capital seat of Abuja.
Okay, tomorrow we are hopeful. We are praying that we are not pushed to go to the other side. And we're also praying that after tomorrow, the following elections will follow suit. Be right, be good, so that this year ends well for all of us. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, that's how we've got today. Tomorrow, the Echo News will be here. Schengen media all over the world will be watching and will be connecting with our regulars. Please tune in. What time tomorrow, Massive Mark?
Yes, you said it. 9 a.m. UK time, 10 a.m. Nigerian time.
Yes, 9 a.m. UK time, 10 a.m. I will be joining Mark, and every one of our colleagues will be joining at various times. But there's going to be a massive discussion. Everyone is joining at 8 p.m. London time tomorrow, when the elections will have closed and results will have been coming in. I employ all my colleagues to be here 8 p.m. London time tomorrow, when results will have been coming in. It's been a wonderful time. Until tomorrow, 9 a.m. London time, this is us saying, God bless Nigeria. May we have a new government in place. Thank you very much.
Thank you.